So here we are back at Godot Docs at the Godot's design philosophy. This is the last part of the introduction section in the getting started section of this web site. There we go. Anyway, so let's get to it. How do we want to set this up? Whatever. Anyway, let's get to it. Now that we've gotten our feet wet, there we go. All right, now that we've gotten our feet wet, let's talk about Godot's design. Every game engine is different and fits different needs. I've never done any other game engine, so I'll take your word for it. Not only do they offer a range of features, but the design of each engine is unique. Cool. This leads to different workflows and different ways to form our game's structures. This all stems from their respective design philosophies. Pardon me. This is such a third place attitude, honestly. Give me a second. It's such a third place attitude to talk about any other competitor. But I do that too. So am I a third place mindset? I think that maybe this is a learning experience for all of us. Maybe I need to also stop talking about any other YouTuber and just focus, be more Codeman centered. Let's go. Or not. I don't know. It really is hard to tell what the right way is. All right, let's go. There we go. This page is here to help us understand how Godot works, starting with some of its core pillars. It's not a list of available features, nor is it an engine comparison. To know if an engine can be a good fit for our project, we need to try it out for ourselves and understand their designs and limitations. All right. So it's advised to, they're inviting us to watch this video, and I've watched it. It's pretty good. If we're looking for an overview of the engine's features. Yeah, so just go check it out if you want to. It's pretty good. Object-oriented design and composition. Pardon me. So Godot embraces object-oriented design at its core with its flexible scene system and node hierarchy. Pardon me, hierarchy. It tries to stay away from strict programming patterns to offer an intuitive way to structure our game. All right. So yeah, object-oriented programming. We'll get into that like right down here, but let's keep going. For one, Godot lets us compose or aggregate scenes. I don't know what that means at all. It's like nested prefabs. We can create a blinking light scene and a broken lantern scene that uses the blinking light. So yeah, we make a blinking light algorithm and inside a function. I mean, basically, just think about it like that. Make a blinking light function, and then we put it inside of we make the broken lantern function call the blinking light function, right? Of course. And then create a city filled, and then we'll have a city function filled with broken lantern, saying broken lantern dot repeat or whatever we're going to do, with blinking lights inside of it. So it's just like that, easy, right? So to change the blinking lights color, save, and all the broken lantern. Okay, so if we change the blinking lights color and then save it, all the broken lanterns in the city will be updated instantly. True. So we know about this. Look, we're here, right? We've done all the free code camp. We're here. We know what's up. All right. On top of that, we can inherit from any scene. True. So a Godot scene would be like a weapon, a character, an item, a door, a level, part of a level, anything we'd like. It works like a class in pure code, except we're free to design it by using the editor, using only the code, or mixing and matching the two. All right. So it's different from prefabs we find in several 3D engines, as we can then inherit from and extend those scenes. I don't know. I've never done a prefab, so I don't know what that means. We may create a magician that extends our character, modify the character in the editor, and the magician will update it as well. So if we modify, anyway, the guy doesn't say if we in front of these. So if we modify the character in the editor, the magician will update as well. Okay, there we go. It helps us build our projects so that their structure matches the game design. Anyway, so let's look at this. This is actually a good little diagram. So we've got the character class, right? And the wizard class is going to inherit from the character. So every wizard can wait, can move, can jump, but it can also, because of the wizard class, they can also cast or focus. Every warrior is a character, so it can wait, move, and jump. But unlike the wizard, it can slash and it can rush, right? Easy. It's just like everybody's a person. This guy's a chef. This guy's a doctor. Just like that. And they both can breathe, eat, and sleep. But this guy cooks good food and this guy cures heart attacks, right? Or fixes them or whatever they do. Anyway, puts broken bones in casts. How about that? There we go. Also note that Godot offers many different types of objects called nodes, each with a specific purpose. Nodes are part of a tree and always inherit from their parents up to the node class. Okay. Nodes. Different types of objects called nodes. Anyway, we'll get to this. Every time they talk about nodes, I get confused. But we'll get to it. All right. Although the engine does feature some nodes like collision shapes. Pardon me. Let me say that again. Although the engine does feature some nodes like collision shapes that parent physics body will use. Oh yeah. Most nodes work independently from one another. You don't say. Anyway, in other words, Godot nodes do not work like components in other game engines. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, or I'm glad to hear that. We'll see. Actually, I have no feelings whatsoever because I've never done anything like this. Sprite 2D is a node 2D and a canvas item and a node. Yes. So just like this. Okay. So node is the top. Okay. So node is the character and canvas item is the wizard. I don't know. I guess that's what that is. So node is all of the, node is the top level of the chain of all of these properties or classes or whatever. I guess that, okay, so the node is the top one. The node isn't the bottom one, it's the top one. Node is the granddaddy class if we're saying parents. Granddaddy, great-granddaddy, granddaddy. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm not going any further. Anyways, the parent node. Great-grandparent, grandparent, parent, offspring. How about that? How's that? There we go. That's better. In the news lately, people saying the D word has been demonized. So I need to back on up from saying that until it's, in fact, I should never say that. I'm a grown man. So yeah, that's the case right there. All inclusive package. Godot tries to provide its own tools to answer most common needs. All right. It has a dedicated scripting workspace, an animation editor, a tile map editor, a shader editor, a debugger, a profiler, the ability to hot reload locally and on remote devices, etc. I believe it. I understand this one. This one probably, I've taken enough art classes to know shading. Debugger, of course. Profiler, don't know. I don't know what this is. Tile map. I know that these are tile maps, but we'll see. Let's go. The goal is to offer a full package to create games and continuous user experience. We can still work with external programs as long as there is an import plugin available in Godot for it. Or we can create one like the tile map importer, which is this, and I don't really want to get into it, but I'm sure it's great. We'll figure it out. If we need it, we'll figure it out later. So that's also partly why Godot offers its own programming language, GDScript, which we already learned on this site, along with C#. GDScript is designed for the needs of game developers and game designers, and is tightly integrated with the engine and the editor. Gotcha. GDScript lets us write code using indentation-based syntax. We know this. Yet it detects types and offers a static language's quality of auto-completion. I don't remember about that, but okay. It is also optimized for gameplay code with built-in types like vectors, and colors. Didn't use that. Turns out there's actually something like that. Turns out. Didn't know that. Note that with GD extension, don't even know what that is, but I'm sure it's some sort of extension for Godot, right? We can write high-performance code using compiled languages like C, C++, Rust, DHaxC, or Swift without recompiling the engine. Gotcha. We'll consider that once we are further along. We need to note that the 3D workspace, doesn't feature as many tools as the 2D workspace. Don't care, we're on 2D right now. We need external programs or add-ons to edit terrains, animate complex characters, and so on. We'll figure that out later. Way later. We'll figure that out later. Godot provides a complete API to extend the editor's functionality using game code. We can see the Godot editor is a game below. This is part of this, so we'll get there. You know how these guys like to link to the same page in the same. Anyway, whatever. So this is one of the plugins. This state machine. It looks cool, but we'll think about it. The state machine editor plugin by Godot 2 in Godot 2 by Kubacek. It lets us manage states and transitions visually. I mean, it looks cool, but we'll get to that if we need it later. Just remember it's there. Say, what's the thing that we needed to flow chart, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll just find it. Open source. Godot offers a fully open source code base under the MIT license. This means all the technologies that ship with it have to be free, as in freedom as well. As in freedom. For the most part, they're developed from the ground up by contributors. Okay. Anyone can plug in proprietary... Oh, we're talking about plugins. What? I guess we're talking about plugins. I don't know. Anyone can plug in proprietary tools for the needs of their projects. They just won't ship with the engine. Yeah, it's just like this thing. It's just like FL Studio. You know, it comes with what it comes with. This may include Google AdMob or Fmod. Any of these can come as third-party plugins instead. Yeah. Well, okay. Look, if you don't know, a lot of the pros use a lot of plugins, and so, you know, that's just one of the facts of life. Whatever. Let's go. On the other hand, the open code base means we can learn from and extend the engine to our heart's content. True. We can also debug games easily, as Godot will print errors with a stack trace, even if they come from the engine itself. Gotcha. So here's a note. This does not affect the work we do with Godot in any way. There are no strings attached to the engine or anything we make with it. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Community driven. Godot is made by its community for the community. And for all game creators out there. Gotcha. It's the needs of the users and open discussions that drive. It's this. Okay. This stuff is more like rah-rah, but let's read it anyway. It's the needs of the users and open discussions that drive the core updates. New features from the core developers often focus on what will benefit the most users first, just like anything else, guys. That said, although a handful of... No, actually, I guess some people are more like selfish-driven, but not these guys. All right, I guess that's cool. All right, that said, although a handful of core developers work on it full-time, the project has thousands of contributors at the time of writing. I remember this. Programmers work on features they may need themselves, so we'll see improvements. Pardon me. So we'll see improvements in all corners of the engine at the same time in every major release. Gotcha. The Godot editor is a Godot game. See, I told you it would link down here. The Godot editor runs on the game engine. Pardon me. It uses the engine's own UI system. Gotcha. It can hot reload code and scenes when we test our projects. I don't know what that means. Or run game code in the editor. Okay. This means we can use the same code and scenes for our games. True. Or build plugins and extend the editor. Yes, that's what object-oriented programming is all about. This leads to a reliable and flexible UI system as it powers the editor itself. With the @tool notation, we can run any game code in the editor. Gotcha. We'll see what that means later. Here's RPG in a box is a voxel RPG editor. I don't know what that means. Made with Godot 2. It uses Godot's UI tools for its node-based programming system and for the rest of the interface. Okay, so we're on Godot 4, but this is for Godot 2, but it still looks pretty good, so we might consider it. We'll see. Put the @tool annotation at the top of any GDScript file, and it will run in the editor. Gotcha. This lets us import and export plugins, create plugins like custom-level editors, or create scripts with the same nodes and API we use in our projects. Okay. So, yeah, sure. All right. Note, the editor is fully written in C++ and is statically compiled into the binary. Gotcha. This means we can't import it as a typical project that would have a good project.godot file. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what this means. Certainly don't know what this means. I know what this means though. So whatever. I don't know what that means, but we'll hopefully we don't run into that problem. Or maybe we do and we fix it. Separate 2D and 3D engines. Godot offers dedicated 2D and 3D rendering engines. As a result, the base unit for 2D scenes is pixels. Even though the engines are separate, we can render 2D and 3D, 3D and 2D, and overlay 2D sprites and interfaces over our 3D world. I can see how this would be awesomely cool if we could do like just a little. Anyway, we'll figure all this stuff out later. So now we got user contributed notes. I read it, sort of. I don't even know. Okay. Instance and aggregation seem similar. Yeah, I don't know what that means. All right, there's that. Let's go to the next one. So now we're on to this whole step-by-step section, actually, in the getting started. So we're on to a new section. We're done with the introduction. So there we go. We're on to step-by-step. And hold on. How do I do it usually? Okay, so now we're on to step-by-step. And we'll see you next time.